One of the things that I like to point out is the very liberal nature of Black Lives Matter and how first world movements are doomed to liberalism and complete inaction. Here's a very good example of that. Black Lives Matter is being endorsed by at least CNN. The mainstream media is starting to recognize them as a legitimate organization that people should join if they want to do something about the police killings in the United States. Well, what does that tell you? Well, it would certainly tell you that they feel that it's not a threat to them, because if it was a threat to them, they would be denouncing Black Lives Matter. But here's a very interesting article that was written by a man on CNN that compared Black Lives Matter to the Black Panthers and tried to claim that they were somehow the same thing. Now, here's some of the points that he made. Using words as weapons. People focused on the guns they carried, but the Panthers did a lot of damage with their words. They transformed political discourse into a form of verbal combat. Well, the original Black Panthers had guns and legally open carried them as a way of defending their communities from police violence. That if police were going to go around shooting people, they were going to be able to shoot back. This is very far from weaponizing words, as this guy likes to put it. But you see the context in which he's placing the whole thing. See, Black Lives Matter is using weapons, using words as weapons, just like the Panthers did, which is absolutely untrue. Black Lives Matter is a liberal, peaceful protest movement that has, frankly, anymore, not even a single ounce of radical in their blood. But you see where this is going. They're trying to portray Black Lives Matter as the Black Panthers. See, if you join BLM, you're doing the same thing as the Black Panthers. The audacity of swagger. The Panthers didn't just introduce a new look to pop culture with their leather jackets and berets. They brought a new attitude. Now, this one I find the most ridiculous of all. What the Black Panthers brought was a pride of being black, and that this is something that you should stand up for. This is something you should support and defend. What happens, this guy turns around and points to a guy calling himself God. Kanye West calling himself basically God in a song, and talking about how the swagger of showing it to everybody's face, and literally cites the example of people doing, dances after doing a slam dunk or getting a touchdown in football, as if somehow these acts of showmanship, which are commercialized acts, are somehow the same as having pride for being black, and recognizing that that's not something that's bad. To even compare these is absolutely ridiculous. But you see what he's trying to do. He's trying to turn these acts into something that's commercialized. Hey, don't do that whole, really being proud of being black thing. Go do that whole commercialized singing and dancing that's like really popular and that, frankly, capitalism can monetize. Unmasking the police. What would the Panthers have done with all of today's viral videos and people of color being mistreated by police officers? That's actually a fairly decent question. I think the Panthers would be recording these and recording such incidents and making them available to the public. So in that case, I don't really think anything would be significant. However, I do think they would be using it to show the violence is being used as they fought back. And when I mean fought back, I mean actually fought back. The whole point of this article is to try to portray Black Lives Matter as though it were the original Black Panthers. And thus, hey guys, it's okay. You can join up with BLM and you'll totally be like the Panthers, because they were really, really radical and they challenged the system. Whereas Black Lives Matter is a liberal protest movement. But you see what they're trying to do. This is their official endorsement of Black Lives Matter. So, they're not a threat to the system. So, you join up with these guys, we're going to be cool with it. We don't really care because, well, we're basically down with them. So it has more to do with the idea that civil rights reforms are coming. There's going to be some concessions towards the working class in the United States. In this case, very specifically the black population. There's going to be eventually some kind of reform that's going to make the lives of African Americans better and reduce the hostility that they have towards the system. And a lot of Marxists were running around, particularly Maoists in the United States were running around acting like, okay, this is it, revolution's coming, here's the popular anger. and here it is. We see it very clearly dying. If your organization against the system is being endorsed by the system, you can hardly call that radical, especially when they're trying to portray you as the same thing as the Black Panthers. Of course, what they're doing is completely dishonest. The BLM isn't even worthy of holding the banner of the Black Panthers and the Maoism that they advocated. But what we can definitely see here is how the mainstream media is telling people that it's okay to be a part of Black Lives Matter because they're not afraid of them. Thank you for watching. Why don't you go ahead, rate, comment, subscribe, and share on various social media. And if you want, you can head over to my Patreon page and show your support. Or you could head over to the MRN bookstore and check out some of the latest books available.